Crabs, welcome back to another Battlecross video. Today, I'm going to be running through the new Zero Legends Subchapter, A Journey of Moments. This is actually the first time Zero Legends is 12 stars, so I don't know, this might be a noticeable increase in difficulty. And already, when I was playing the first stage was definitely decently tricky. It features a 1.2 times multiplier on all enemies compared to Uncanny Legends difficulty, which is pretty significant. It's like playing 2-star UL in Zero Legends now. But it makes sense considering we're almost in mid Zero Legends, so we should be getting pretty difficult stages by now. This first stage is interesting. The Cyber Horns act as giant walls, letting the Puffzerkers push really hard and actually get really close to your base. They aren't that hard to take down. I mean, I used Ubers, but they were not that hard to take down, even with the extremely buffed health. But the Galactic Overseer Nyandam was actually very threatening and did so much damage, basically being able to one-shot everything, and was very threatening due to his extremely high range. One thing I didn't know about Puffzerker is that it has Omni Strike up to 350, which makes it even more threatening. So it was a fairly annoying enemy to deal with, but Courier Cat definitely carried and Bartholock helped me out a lot. Anyway, that's the first stage. Alright, this next stage is 2222 Clockwatching. And it's a metal black hybrid stage with Bun Bun Black as the boss with a 600% magnification, which is the strongest he's been in the history of the game. And he appears again later in this stage, but same magnification. And now is where you can really see the 1.2 times magnifications with the 360% metal enemies, which is insane. Except for Metal Doge, fortunately, because Metal Doge just sucks. They are keeping Metal Doge at 300%, which is the right choice for sure, because he was annoying enough to deal with. Anyway, I don't think this stage will be too difficult to deal with, even without Ubers, because we have Bomber Cat and actually a lot of pretty good anti-metal enemies, but this will still be pretty threatening. Overall, this was a fun, pretty average stage. I mean, I Uber carried it, but it was a fun stage. Alright, this next stage, Tick-Tock Terraces, is definitely where I first felt the 1.2 times enemy magnification a lot. I decided to do this one Uberless because I didn't want to Uber carry the entire stage, and it was extremely annoying. They basically combined a lot of knockback enemies and a lot of red enemies together. The red energies were extremely painful to deal with because of how buffed they were. It was insane, and the Hacky just was able to gnaw away at your base like nothing. I used Newton for the first time since I got him, and he was actually really good. I heard lots of talk about how good he was, and he definitely impressed me. His ability to slow enemies just really worked well, and I thought he was a good unit. But overall, this was an interesting stage. It was absolutely cancerous, and I would not recommend anyone play it if they wanted a fun time, but I beat it. It wasn't that hard, but it was still really annoying. Like, what were they smoking? Putting a lot of red enemies, red energy, which nobody likes, and Hacky, which can snipe your base. This, weird stage, end of story. This next one, Efficient Timewasting, is a Bun Bun party. You have all the Bun Buns variants, besides Event and Mecha Bun for some reason, because Mecha Bun got left out. At first, I was really scared about this stage. Like, all of the Bun Buns is incredibly hard pushing, and Relic Bun Bun isn't even floating, so Octopus Cat doesn't work against him. But it actually was not bad at all. I died on my first attempt to the Sarah Brutal and Relic Doge, then I swapped in Can for Awakened Bahamut, and I was fine. I was able to stack up 2 Dr. Novas by the time Relic Bun Bun was out, so that made dealing with him actually no problem, and along with a pretty decent ID chain that just did the trick really well. This was probably the easiest stage of the subchapter. I mean, I still have to beat the rest of them, the remaining 2, but this was not a hard stage. It was fun, too, being able to stack up, use the bubble cat, I think that's what it's called, you know, the weird soapy cat. So good, so amazing. Along with Newton again, because I haven't given Newton enough love, and Dr. Nova. So, overall, a very fun and very easy stage. Alright, so I hope this stage was the most difficult one of the subchapter, because this one was really hard. And actually, it took me maybe 4 tries to do, and once I swapped in Newton, it was a lot easier. So, Newton might actually be amazing. I really need to use him more. Anyway, this stage is basically a bunch of alien and relic threats. It begins assaulting you with some buffed Sorrels and Star Pings, which are very heavily buffed, so watch out for those. And then you get a Loki and some tech old hyenas, which are very fun to deal with. So you get 2 of them in total and 2 buffed old horns. Fortunately, the tech old hyena is not buffed at all, but that makes sense because it's a Zero Legends enemy. This was a hard stage, but also a fantastically fun stage to slowly figure out and work my way through. It actually becomes a lot less threatening once you kill one of the threats, like the Old Horn or the Hyena or the Loki. I actually killed the Loki way faster than I thought. He's still really flimsy. That hasn't changed even with a 1.2 times buffed. Overall, a fun stage. All of these stages have been very enjoyable so far. So, on to the final stage. Well, the final boss of this subchapter is none other than Cappy Jr. But before we talk about him, I just want to admire how sick the background art is. It hasn't been commented on by anyone, and I think this is the first time that this art has been featured in a stage, and it looks amazing. But anyway, onto the stage. You get some Akus, Doge Darks, and the boss, Cappy Jr. And if you think Cappy Jr. would make for a decent exception to the 1.2 times magnification rule, you'd be right. But Panos didn't think that. Cappy Jr. is 120%, which is insane. Fortunately, power creep exists, and there's so many surge immune units by this point. I brought Gigando, Ural, and for my 3 meat shields, I brought Rock, Cat Cactus, and Gato Amigo, which did a pretty good job against defending against him and stopping the push. I also brought Gridon Cat for some stackable DPS, and Jellycat for the occasional wave proc. This stage also features 2 buffed Aku Bears, which, yeah, are very annoying because they just stack up the damage, but with Ural, it wasn't that much of a threat. Honestly, I was able to stack up 3 Urals at one point, which just made so much DPS that it made the stage actually not that bad. And, like, this stage looked really hard when I first looked on it on the wiki. But then, when I actually played it, it's not that bad. You just stack up Urals and win. Gigando didn't do that much. I don't know why. I think he just kept getting knockback changed. I think maybe because his range is too short. But anyway, that is the subchapter. It was very fun, pretty challenging. I think the 5th stage was definitely the hardest. But overall, a very fun experience. And doing it Uberless was fun too. So, soon I'll post the next one. Hope you had a good day. And I'll just let this footage play out so you can see the whole battle. But have a good one. See you in the next one. Bye.